Hi, everyone. This is Hannah Hanley, and I'm joined by Nate Ganna. We both work in the spirits industry, and this is Caviar and Chips, our podcast dedicated to the industry, what's going on in our lives, and more. Thanks for joining us. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to another episode of Caviar and Chips. We have today the dynamic duo from Potter Jane. Can you two introduce yourselves, please?
Age before beauty.
Denny Potter. So, been in the industry 28 years in January.
Jane Bowie. I will have been in the bourbon industry 19 years in March. So I'm the Jane of Potter Jane.
Yeah.
And who's behind you?
This is the distillery dog, Yuri.
The dog, Potter.
He's my dog, but he's pretty much Jane's dog too. Rescued him about a year and a half ago. We think he's 7. He's 100% red-nosed American Pit Bull. He was at the rescue for over 2 years. Best dog. I mean, just so good, especially around people. So he comes to the distillery every day.
We laugh. I mean, cats are more useful. They catch mice, which are bad for a distillery. But I mean, Yuri will help you finish your snacks and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's missing for sure. No, he's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
So tell us about Potter Jane. Well, actually, can we start because this is I want to go back. How did you guys meet?
We met in March of 2007. I was hired by Bill and Rob Samuels to be the global brand ambassador for Maker's Mark. And in Bill Samuels's words, you better not embarrass us out there. So you're going to go learn the jobs. So I spent about a month working at the distillery, like every job.
Wow.
And Denny was the director of distilling and environmental.
Yep.
So Denny ran the distillery at Maker's Mark in 2007. And so I trained under you and we were fast friends. And then.
Yeah, I'd have been at Maker's for 4 years, I think, when you came on board.
Yeah.
So it was really the first time that we had like somebody in Jane's role that we were training to send out and about, right? Like, so I always give credit to Bill and Rob for that because they've always felt that the distillery is kind of the centerpiece to, everything about Makers and the brand, right? And so by having people come there and learn and learn, a decent amount about the operation and then go out and kind of spread the gospel a little bit. I mean, it's pretty effective. And, we see that now even with our distillery, like you can't impress people any more than by getting them to the site and then letting them see it, letting them taste the distillate, letting them sample from a barrel. Like it's just super powerful.
So true. Nate, have you been to Maker's Mark?
So I have not, ironically, but I was going to ask, what's it like coming from, I mean, you guys are both legends, but what's it like coming from such a legendary brand and then, branching out into your own thing? I'm just so curious.
It's scary. I mean, I think I can't speak for Denny because we've had very different careers. You've worked for 2 companies, but multiple brands, multiple operations where that was the only, I was hired at 25 and I grew up there. So I think for me, there was this fear of it's such an iconic brand that really knows who it is. It's very committed to its North Star. And, 70 years, there was a fear of what if I'm not good anywhere else? Like, what if I'm only good in this one space at this one thing? And it doesn't translate. And then what if I don't love it as much? It was a great place to grow up. It was a great place to learn how to be good in this industry to that point. So I think it was definitely bittersweet because it was exciting to come start and build from scratch, but you're leaving behind a great place with great people that were just part of your family at the end of the day.
I used to say this when I was at Maker's the first time and then got shipped down to St. Croix to run Cruise and Rum. But Maker's was always that place that there's no other better place to work on a day-to-day basis. I mean, just,
wow.
To have a distillery that is located in Loretto, Kentucky, which, is less than 1,000 population, yet Makers has over 300 employees, but it's a globally known brand. Like, there's a lot of pride in that. Like, it's really kind of hard to believe that,
Very similar to Jack.
yeah, that
probably.
they could have that similar outreach. So, the day to day was amazing. I think, I've been in the industry a while, and, you start to look around and realize, holy shit, like I've been in the industry longer than most. And it's incredible how fast that happens. So it's hard leaving an iconic brand, but at the same time, there was a lot of excitement about going and building our own thing and being able to tell our own story, and honestly making all of our own decisions, right? Like living and dying by our decisions. And, we don't have to deal with corporate. We don't have to explain one decision 1,000 times when we know it's the right thing to do. And guess what? If it's not, we live and die by it. Like, that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, we're pretty good at what we do. We've seen a lot, we've done a lot, but we're not afraid to fuck anything up either. So, and then on the flip side of it, it's exciting to be able to tell your own generational story. I mean, that's kind of our mindset, is we're building a generational operation here, just like the Beams did, just like the Shapiras and the Beams did, just like the Samuels did, right? So you got to have generation one at some point. Why can't it be us? Why can't we start that story and let people continue to tell that, not just for our kids and our families, but also people that work here? Because that's the other great thing about these generational operations. It's truly generational with all the people that work there too. I mean, whether it was Heaven Hill or Maker's Mark or Cruise and Rum, I mean, you're in the second, third generation of families that are all working, some of them working at the same time. It's exciting to know that we have an opportunity to do that. We've taken a big step. We got a lot more to do, but so far so good.
I think building a generational company is very uncommon right now. Most people are looking for the quick move on, quick sale to a different company and get the money and then be done. So, as you guys are thinking about generational business, you're planning big, obviously, and what you built is big. Can you speak to the scale? Because I think it's hard to explain.
We always say we're a solid mid-major. If you're a college basketball fan, you're like a Gonzaga or a Boise State of distilleries. We're producing right now anywhere from 50 to 100 barrels a day. Our capacity is 150 barrels. So if we're running 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, which we're not, and you're producing 50,000 barrels, that's a million case brand, 12 pack, like 9 liter. Do you know how many bourbon brands are a million cases or larger? Not that many. So we're obviously we're not running at full capacity, but we've built everything for the future. And I think that's the part, we have almost 50 years combined, but actually when you look at our team of 20, there's almost 200 years experience under the roof at Potter Jane. So
wow.
We've lived through ebbs and flows. We've lived through understanding you plan in scores. So we've designed this thing for future state, because it's not that much of a price difference when you're talking about going ahead and putting the equipment in, even though you're only using it to its 40% capacity. But yeah, I mean, we could be making 1 million cases a year right now if we wanted to. We're not, because that would be completely irresponsible. And, the last thing the world needs right now are a bunch of whiskey barrels that don't have a home or a bottle to go to.
Do you feel like it's and I'm like obviously enamored with what you guys are doing, but do you feel like it's a weird time to be doing it? Or
we're fucking morons, Nate. Like,
yeah, Nate, had we waited just 6 months, we'd still be at Maker's Mark.
Yeah, I mean, our timing, I guess.
Because we don't believe in ourselves, but it's just, it's a weird time, right? And nobody really knows why. It's not one singular thing. It's a lot of different things. So it's hard to see through the noise a little bit. We fully believe that, we'll come out on the other side of this, and that, the category will come out on the other side of this, but nobody really knows how long it's going to take. But yeah, I mean, it's been a little nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a different environment from when we first started talking about this to when we left Makers to where we are today. I mean, it's radically different.
You know what though? As a lifer in this industry and as a consumer, like this needs to happen. What's happening needs to happen. It's going to be good in the long run. And I think, you know, part of our daily challenges in that same vein are like balancing the short-term decisions and needs with your long-term visions and integrity, right? Like it's constant, that tension between those two things. And I feel like we're doing okay. I mean, we've had to put our money where our mouths were quite a few times on some stuff. Like we're an enzyme-free distillery and people come and go, hey, will you make the 95.5 rye for us? And we're like, nope. You know, we're not. If you want that, there are people that will make it and make it better than we ever could. Probably.
Yeah, we do an 85-15 or 87-13, you know, where you have enough of the malt, you don't need it. But
so those are things that we're having to constantly balance short term and long term as far as.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the other part of it too is our strategy and our thought hasn't changed at all. You know, have we gotten a little more conservative? Yeah, I mean, I think we've definitely buttoned some things up. We want to be partnered. You know, we are doing some contract distillation. So we want to make sure we're partnered with people that have a similar outlook as us. Like Hannah, you talked about people that are looking to sell quick or flip quick. I mean, those days are over. It worked for a little bit. Didn't work for everybody, but it worked for a few. So we want to be aligned with the people that are really trying to grow their brands the right way and want to be here 10 years from now, because any other outlook for us, then we're going to be out of cash very quickly, right? There is no taking any cash out of this business for a very, very, very long time, right? Like every penny we make goes back in, not just for your daily OpEx, which is significant, much less paying the debt on the CapEx, but you know, you got to continue to build warehouses, right? And we do smaller warehouses. We do a 24,000 barrel rick house. We've got 2 that are built. But we're going to have to continue to build those, and those are close to $4 million a piece. We're going to do bottling on site. We still don't have a visitor center. Now that's going to be way down the road because we're fully focused on quality, capacity, and production for that part. But I mean, there's a good chance over the next 5 years that we'll end up spending at least another $70-80 million. So it's trying to figure out how do you continue to run, but then also how do you continue to invest in the future? Because if we don't have warehouse space, then you got to shut the distillery down. So it's understanding that there is not a dollar coming out of this thing.
Where's that $70-80 million coming from?
That's a beautiful question, Hannah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have.
If any of your listeners would like to.
Yeah, well, we have factored it in.
Foot of Potter Jane.
And and before, we thought it was going to be probably 130 or 140 million if we were doing 40,000 barrels a day or 45,000, or I'm sorry, a year. But because we've scaled a lot of that back, it has allowed us to push back a lot of the capital spend. So with that, like your timeline and your debt service and that ratio looks a lot different as you're able to spread that capital spend out over years. And then, hopefully by, year 4 or 5, we've got an initial brand out on the market that we're able to go out with boots on the ground and really push and hopefully sell, that brings additional money back in. Why are you looking at me?
I'm just laughing that we turned this into like a financial podcast.
Well, she asked a great question. That's a great question. You can't.
It's on my questions because I have been very curious about how you guys have been funded and how you're looking at the future. It's a cash flow heavy business. Yeah, a lot of our listeners are curious about that because it's something that doesn't get talked about very much, honestly. Like people get excited about a $50 million distillery, but like, where's that $50 million coming from? And as you guys are thinking about it, and you're the founders, there's a lot of decision making and a lot of tough decision making that people don't talk about.
I'm not sure if you guys saw this from Bourbon Pursuit the other day. Did you see the recent episode about Blue Run?
Oh, I haven't listened to it.
We know about Blue Run, but we didn't listen.
Yeah, I mean, like so the financial expenses had come out, and I think the biggest difference is like, and I don't get me wrong, I love the Coors family and all that stuff, and I love Trey from Blue Run, but I think that the quality of the product is, what they were referring to, and the loss that Coors is just, underwritten is so massive. But I feel like your distillate, because of who you guys are, is probably going to get you through this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the quality of your distillate is what's going to be the difference maker here, quite honestly. Yeah, you got to write it out, but like when everybody starts to come back and understands that the quality liquid is with you guys, I think you'll succeed.
Well, this started as a hobby. I mean, this was something we just are saddos that didn't have hobbies. And this started as like a Christmas break. Let's just play Distillery if we were going to do this. And then, Hannah, to kind of answer your question, our whole thing was if we can't own this, we're not going to do it. So how do two shit munchers own a $50 million distillery? Because Maker's Mark paid nice. They didn't pay that nice. So, and both of us are from very working class, middle class family backgrounds. Like, we are very average people that were not born into this industry. We are expats that like fell in love in this industry with bourbon, not each other, but with bourbon.
I know. I was gonna say. I feel like people probably assume that about you guys too.
We're not married, and although at this point I always laugh, like it would be easier to divorce my husband than you. But
a lot of ownership things.
Yeah.
So, we, like a lot of these you're reading about that are now defunct, we got bank backing. It was a little bit different of a scenario. We had to raise a little bit of seed money. But yeah, we are still majority owners of this thing as of today. We always are like, ask us in a year. But when things got really serious with the bank, this went from a hobby and something fun to pass the time to, oh my God, we may have to quit these jobs. And I remember we sat down over a beer and we had a real conversation of, if we don't have something to add valuable to the industry, we need to shut the fuck up and stay where we are. Because at the end of the day, the shelf is crowded. The last thing the consumer needs is another American whiskey or bourbon without a point of view that's not really solving anything. So to your point, Nate, on liquid, our whole reason for doing this from a liquid point of view was in the last 10 years, right? The industry has just been on this rocket ship.
Mm-hmm.
And the big guys have gotten bigger and faster and making great whiskey, but at a clip, right? Meeting demand. And then the craft guys had come in and weird and wonderful and doing craft things. And we looked around and said, there's nobody in the middle making the bourbon that reminds us of why we fell in love with bourbon to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not 40s and 50s Stitzel, like we're talking in the last 20 years. And we said, you know what? If we feel that way, we bet other people feel that way too. So that, I do think our liquid, is going to be different in the sense of we've designed this distillery to optimize flavor at every touch point. We're not doing anything new. It's all like old school distilling fundamentals. 80% of our production is 6-day fermentation in beer. Like we are slowing everything way down to get all the flavor back in. So, if we can survive till a bottle, we do feel like the liquid will carry us through, to your point.
What's been the feedback on the White Dog?
It's been incredible. No, I mean,
that's a loaded question because Dawn Davis is saying that it's the best White Dog she's ever tried.
She's not the only one. I mean,
yeah.
Mark Gillespie said the same thing. I mean, we've had numerous people say that. I mean, it's, we have to be careful because, we're in this bubble here in Springfield and
we're great.
We're very critical.
You're great echo chamber.
We're very critical. I mean, we have been like, you're not going to find anybody harder on us than us. Like that's just kind of how we're wired. But I think the external feedback, even team members that came from other distilleries are, they love it. Like they're just like we're doing things a little bit different. So that was new. But until you taste the distillate coming off the still, you might be full of shit, right? Like it all sounds good, all makes a good story, but how does it taste? And it's been like very well received. Bourbon Festival, tons of great feedback. We were named the best craft booth of the festival
by Frank.
Which is awesome. That's great. Which had a lot to do with the white dog, had a lot to do with the fact we're just jackasses and make
I want to talk about the branding because you guys are doing such a fun, different stylistic approach to this. Like it's fun, which you're not taking yourselves too serious, which is awesome.
It's one of the things we miss about, again, we sound so old when we say these things, but when I started drinking bourbon 20-ish years ago, like we always say bourbon was Scotch's like drunk and rowdy cousin, right? Like, and I think what's happened in the last 10 to 15 years as bourbon's become more popular and you've found the distilleries have been capable of releasing older expressions, and there's been, I think, more premiumization, and I hate that word, but you've seen it. We laugh, we're like, we can sniff and swirl with the best of them, but we kind of miss bourbon being like down to earth and approachable, which is what Kentucky is, right? And I think bourbon has gotten a little more pretentious in the last decade, and there's nothing wrong with that. Love that. I want to drink those things, but we definitely, from a branding, want to get back to like the fun and the roots and like, it's fucking whiskey. If you can't have fun here, what do we do?
I just sent a picture of all of us to our group chat, and they're all the guys that came to your party, and one of them just wrote, "Your merch is fire."
See, I know you need to put it online, you guys. I've been
we're working on it.
Okay, because I want to buy a sweatshirt.
Yeah,
well,
super sick.
Yeah, we can send you guys some
I'll just send you some stuff.
Well, we just got some additional merch, and like we've kind of gone through waves of getting stuff in. But yeah, I mean, we work with a great creative team out in California. They're people that we knew in a previous life. They had both been or all three of them had been at a larger firm, and struck out on their own. So when Jane and I left Makers, they had just left, and they reached out and said, "Hey, can we work together?" And I mean, they have been.
Thank God.
I mean, it's funny. Like we were talking about this last week. They're not pushing us at all to, live outside of our own skin or do anything like that. I think they figured out who we are and have just said, "Hey, we need to play on this a little bit because we're not." I mean, we take our jobs very seriously, but if we can't goof around and fuck off and make fun of each other while we're here at work or wherever we are, then I don't know that we really want to do it.
No.
I mean, it's
whiskey.
It's a great industry. Yeah, it's whiskey. Like let's call it what it is.
So speaking of that, who's in charge of what between the two of you?
That we don't really have swim lanes. It's all just.
Love that.
We all know that Jane runs everything. Right? The team is more scared of Jane than they are of me. But no, I think it's.
I think we respect each other's expertise as well. I mean, we fight a lot. Like it probably was a little uncomfortable, but I think we also grew up in that environment. Like you were encouraged to actively challenge and then come out to a better place. So, respectfully, I mean, it's a lot of like debating and trying to really understand, but also trusting. I mean, we were counterparts for many years, and I thought we had a good working relationship and trusted each other. But this is like a whole different.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to lean in. I'm going to always lean in more on the mashing and distillation side, and Jane's always going to lean in more on the maturation and blending side.
I do have opinions,
but
on the
both
distillery.
are involved in each. It's funny. She will say that. You'll never hear me say, "Well, I don't know." Anyway, so we definitely are involved in all of it, but there are certain things that we kind of naturally lean into a little bit, and that's fine.
Yeah,
like we're both. That's why we did this.
Yeah.
Like if we thought we were both experts in everything, then this project would have been dead day one. We know kind of what our expertise and skill set is, and it's really allowed us to get to this point but it's really going to drive us when it comes to having a brand on market.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you able to, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming no, but are you able to expand upon any of the brands that you're creating liquid for?
Sure. Frank August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We met them right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So we've actually been blending with Jonathan for the last 2+ years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really cool brand.
That's amazing. Gosh.
Everyone's talking about Frank August.
Well,
They
he
won.
comes from.
He,
Go ahead.
he won Gold Outstanding at IWSC
Yeah.
in June. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, he came from the fashion world, and he did bring something new. Like the packaging is it's a
So
beautiful
different.
pack. And what we love about him, he's a total pain in the ass on quality, which is awesome because
Yeah.
he's so committed to making everything the best it can be. So like there was a lot of symmetry, I think, on his expectations and ours. And then what we love about it is it's a very different brand than what Potter Jane's going to be, as you all just pointed out. So it's kind of fun to think we're not really going to ever compete with him in the market, right? It's a totally probably different space.
Well said.
We're working with Kentucky Senator, which is a smaller brand. So similar thing. They just expanded to Louisiana, and we helped we blended that release for them. So we're trying to be more, we're partners, right?
Yeah. Love that.
So it's more like understanding their brand, their vision, understanding what they're trying to do, and then making sure we're producing liquid that meets the standard, if not improves upon what they've already been doing.
There's plenty of brands to go around. There's plenty of drinkers to go around that you don't need to make sure that everything is a competition between the two of you, right? Like that's a huge thing that people don't really get. You know, and I think Bardstown probably is a really good example of a brand that is doing so well on their own, but all their brands do pretty well too, you know? I mean, it's amazing to see. And I think you guys are probably in that same realm.
Yeah, it's been fun making. I didn't think I would
Yeah,
enjoy
it
it
has.
as much.
Well, and I think they're brands too that they don't want to build a distillery. Like who would? Like who would want to build a distillery, right? But they're very passionate about liquid, and they're very passionate about how they show up every single day. And I think it's a good combination of the recognition of the two. And I think that's why it works so well together. I mean, I think they entrust us, but it's very open. We both, like both of those brands, talk openly about we're producing for them. And then, you know, we obviously say that we're doing the same thing. So, and they're just good people. You know, they're people that work their asses off and really want to be a part of this industry, have no signals that they want to sell or anything like that. Just, you know, people that have found their way in that have made the industry better, which is what we love about it. It's kind of the thing going into this. We didn't know what to expect. We knew we needed to do contract distillation. It helps, obviously. But it's been probably the most the one of the things that I've enjoyed the most is that part of it and those relationships. We used to do a little bit, we did a lot when I was at Heaven Hill, but we didn't have those open relationships about who you're producing for and all the other things. Whereas this is a little bit different. So,
yeah,
I think that it's like you guys in Bardstown, but brands in Kentucky are very much more open to it than other places across the country. Like the transparency of talking about who's producing or having, you know, experts like you guys involved for Frank August, that's huge clout for them. Why wouldn't they tout that, right? But a lot of brands want to be very protective and think that it's just their own idea and they're not using any other expertise. And it's an interesting concept to me.
Well, if you look at Westland and Woodinville, right? Like side by side in Seattle, and you know, kind of hate each other. And
there's no reason they should compete. They don't even make the same products.
Same brand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I used to work at Heritage Distilling in the Seattle area, and we would always be competitive with everyone. And I look back and I'm like, why? We weren't even in the same realm of stylistic approaches. Like, but
No.
knowing, I think it's really what you guys have done and what you are saying is you know who you are, you know who your brand is, and you're going to grow that and expand that, and that's going to probably change and evolve through the years. But at the very core, it's fun. It's traditional based. It's, all of these things that ultimately lean towards best possible quality, and that's what's guiding your decision making, it seems like. That's
Without
cool.
total fuck you pricing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the piece on the back end that probably is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where it nets, but like, I love the idea of us making the absolute best bottle of bourbon you can buy and afford to drink every day if you want. Not that we encourage that, although I would like for people to drink more than they currently are.
We're the only state that has increased our alcohol consumption out of all 50.
Is Tennessee?
Oh, yeah. So bring it this way.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I got to get out of here, but I love chatting with you guys. Please keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I love chatting with you.
We'll stay on. We'll keep hanging out, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about Grace, right? Is she the one who does your social media? Your
Paige.
Facebook page. She's doing a great job.
Poor Paige, man. We don't pay her enough.
No, we don't.
Maybe give her a Christmas bonus, you guys.
Yeah, no, we're gonna definitely do something.
Well, how do they give a good job title for her? She's that, as a startup, you have like that job that's just the catch-all. They need perceived. They wear a million different hats. I mean, all of us wear different hats.
Yeah.
But she's like next level. We call her our chaos manager.
She's our office manager, but yeah.
It doesn't really describe, but yeah. She was employee number 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jane's number 1.
Oh, good. Yay, Jane.
Well, you got top billing on the name, so I got to be employee 1.
Potter Jane does have a good flow to it, probably more than Jane Potter.
Yeah, that just sounds like a person.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it studies.
It does.
Silverback.
It doesn't sound like Jane Goodall. Like, I don't know why you always say that.
No, it does. It reminds me of like a biologist that is
anyway
themselves fully.
Back to Paige. What would you like to know about Paige?
Okay, so she's your office manager and she's running social media and things like that for you guys. Does she come to you guys with the ideas, or are you guys like, hey, we need to get a post out? Because you guys drawing each other,
that was her.
I was laughing so hard.
The painting was Paige's.
Yeah, that was her. If it were me, we would never do social media. So it's mainly Denny and Paige. It'll be like what was it called? The
Paloma Blanca.
The Paloma.
Oh, so
this
good.
Is a global phenomenon. And then it was like 17 people were doing this.
No, was it?
You were deep into TikTok.
No, there's a lot of people that
I don't think they were.
Well, you don't do TikTok, so you wouldn't know.
So it was a thing, Jane.
So
thank you, Hannah.
It's usually
it doesn't matter. She'll still.
It's usually Denny like coming up with some idea.
I've got so many ideas. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you want to do with social media? It's not even about. It's just fun. Like I think it's hilarious. I think some of the stuff we do, and I love seeing people react to it. Like it's never going to be serious. I mean, we could sit here and do these. Oh, Jane is walking through the warehouse. Look at the beautiful liquid. Let's taste it a little bit. Or are we like do like coming down the aisle, right?
I've gotten more
because you were working that whiskey thief. You were working that whiskey thief.
No one
I will agree with that statement.
No one appreciates. I was running between the tracks, but I think I've gotten more comfortable. I think for me, it's like my view of social media was like it's a lot of noise. Are you trying to store it? Like if you're trying, I'm someone that wants to win everything. I'm like, how do you win social media? Like I couldn't point to anyone I felt like was doing it.
What you're doing is winning.
From a brand building. So once I got comfortable of like, we don't have to win social media. I'm like, all right, I'll do whatever you guys want.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just random shit. There's We need to do something else. We got some really good ideas for Christmas. Yes.
Good.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
the Halloweeny. I think you guys are
Halloween.
creating a really fun culture, also, in what it seems like, right? In the
Halloween was
employees. I was like,
Yeah.
this is hilarious.
Yeah, we've got a really, really, really good team, and they seem to enjoy it. Sometimes we worry, are we too fucking crazy? Like, are we? But no, they love it, and that's a real thing. Like, that wasn't the Halloweeny thing. I wasn't even here that week for that.
That's why it was extra fun.
Yeah, I bet it is. But they were just doing that. Like, that wasn't even going to be on social media, and then it was like, oh, maybe
We were talking about a mustard tasting I'd made us do when we were still we'd done like just a yellow mustard tasting, and then we had turned it into like a hot dog tasting, and then we turned it into a chili tasting. And so then Jeremy had decided, our warehouse manager was like, I want to cook, I want to do like a big hot dog thing. And then Pete was like, we should call it Halloweeny. So I actually think it's
a
brilliant.
tradition is born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you guys have a party every year.
Yeah, we'll have a big event. Like, honestly, we'll probably open it up.
What's funny, we have
Community.
20 employees. 3 of you were out that day, and Jeremy cooked 80 hot dogs. What are we going to do with 80 hot dogs?
I could crush. I mean, you
I
saw
could
me.
eat I could eat a few hot dogs.
I ate 17 at Oaks back in when was that?
2021.
2021. It was the first like Derby Oaks post COVID, so everything was free. Like, it was all included in your ticket. So you walk in, Rocket Man's handing you a beer. He's just standing there, not even allowed to take tips. That's awesome. Then you go up to the concession stand, and they're just handing out hot dogs.
Well, the track
and
was
burgers
25% capacity.
and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, this is so. Every time I went to place a bet,
Do you feel like
I ate too
Do you
hot
love
dogs.
telling people you ate 70 hot dogs?
I don't love. It's a hell of an accomplishment.
Is
I look like everybody thought.
I would say that's
chestnut.
yeah.
Me?
Jane, I think you have a
Kobayashi.
Christmas
They
gift
call mine
idea.
Kobayashi.
What?
I think you have a Christmas gift idea. A
What?
shirt that says I ate 17 hot dogs.
Well,
Yeah.
Ethan Spalding bought you a hat that says it's a bad day to be a hot dog.
That's for 4th of July.
But yeah, no, we have a lot of fun.
We do that. I mean, it's not that we do all that crazy stuff every day, but there's probably something you could pick out every day that would make a fun social media post. But it's not an intentional. We probably need to be a little more intentional about it, but most of it's just, we got this crazy video. We should just go ahead and post it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, so I was at the distillery the day of the still installation, and coming from the company that I worked for before, everything was always very formal with us. And it was like, it had to be very organized, and I had a great job. It was a great time. It was time for me to leave when I left, but to walk into that space and you guys be so relaxed and just have so many friends and family members, people from the industry there, just drinking beers, eating tacos. Like, I was like, this is fun and this is so cool. Proud of you for like being true to yourself and true to who both of you are in what you're building. I think it's really cool.
Oh, thanks, Hannah. Gosh, that was a fun week, though. We got to know each other well that week.
That was a wild week.
That's right. You guys did all that.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
day
how are you doing still installation? You've been judging all week. Also, why didn't you tell me this was happening?
Oh, and then I didn't wear makeup that day. And that picture of us has surfaced more than any other picture in the history of us.
Picture.
It's terrible. My mom's like, you didn't fix your hair or wear makeup. I'm like, Dawn and Hannah kept me up drinking bourbon until like 2.
Not me, Dawn.
We were
never.
probably more nervous than what we showed. Just yeah, I mean, because the way we were doing the still, it was a way that we were doing that I'd never done it that way before.
Yeah,
we'd always had roof hatches and you drop them in.
I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Holy shit, this is wild.
That's what you trust you trust the contractors. Like, nah, it's going to work out fine. It's going to be good. There was at one point when they were bringing the still in, and the hydraulics on one of the forklifts on one of the ends, it started leaking. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go.
If you
This-
remember, the winds were like 40 miles per hour, and we didn't have any walls in the distillery, and the rain was coming in sideways.
And you
I
guys have
felt
just
bad.
like caution tape.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, hopefully no one falls through one of
Yeah,
these
right. Yeah,
walls.
hold on.
I
Eye off here.
feel so bad though, because I think people thought it was going to be like, drop it in, take the plastic off, lift it up.
Look at the copper.
Yeah, and it was a 4-hour like.
Oh, they were late.
It
was 2 hours late
And-
getting loaded because of the weather, and then
we didn't take the plastic off because why would you?
well, the plastic stayed on until March, pretty much. Well,
Mm,
February we did because we had
It's good. You should leave it on so it doesn't get all dusty.
I know.
Yeah.
It looks great though. I mean, the way our team does an incredible job keeping things clean, and so it's the way the still's built. There's no way really to touch it unless you get in a man lift and go
Yeah.
all the way up to each manway. But man, it's starting to turn that dark copper color. It's starting to patina a little bit. Oh, it's awesome.
Beautiful.
Looks good.
That's awesome. One of the things that we talk about on the podcast is wellness in the industry. And how do you guys think about wellness, staying healthy? What does that mean to you? Those types of things.
It's a hard one, especially we're here, but back in the day when you used to travel a lot, it's such a discipline and balance on staying healthy. I will say we had, the stress of building this. We were not overly healthy during that time just because
That's okay.
But I think as far as what we do personally, we actually started with a personal trainer. We don't get enough of each other 10 hours of work a day. We work out together as well. Part of our, we feel like it's part of our jobs as owners is to be healthy and strong and take care of ourselves.
Well, and we had to take out significant insurance on each other as a condition of the loan. And those policies are worth a lot of money. And then you get evaluated. Like
So
your premium is based on how healthy you are, which is kind of fucked up. But
I wouldn't say, instead of wellness, and there's no such thing as work-life balance, but I do think we are big on families and having time for our employees. Like one of the things we said we were never going to do is run on Sundays, right? We are in central Kentucky in a rural community. Sundays are church days. They are family days. If you want to go sit in a tree stand and hunt deer all day, which one of our team members is out all this week hunting. One of our other team members was out all. So we try to, from a wellness, I feel like are great with our benefits, our PTO we've done these jobs, right? We grew up in this industry. We've worked the back shifts and then well, I haven't, but you have. So
I've heard.
We understand what it's like to have these jobs and to, at the end of the day, so I think from a wellness, I feel like we're decent employers on treating our people like human beings and making sure that they understand their family and their personal lives are more important than what happens at this distillery every day.
Yeah, I think and you have to be very intentional with that too, right? Like, and Jane kind of hit on it, like with our benefits. I mean, we have great, we have good vacation policy, our health insurance. If you're on the HSA, we cover 100%, whether it's an individual or all the way through family. We give 6 months maternity leave, 1 month paternity leave.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, it's just things. And then, I mean, there's more than that. And I think a lot of that is, kind of what we've done in our careers and what we've been through.
And we were treated well in our jobs.
And then we've seen, I mean, and, the jobs that we left, I mean, they're, incredible benefits, right? Yeah. So, as a startup, it's hard to implement some of the things that we have access to, but we were very intentional on making sure we were able to do that. And then I think, a lot of it too is, how you show up every day, how you talk to people, how you make them feel. This is not, we know everybody here is trying to do a good job. They're actually
Yeah.
trying to do the best job they can possibly do.
Yeah.
The rest doesn't matter, right?
But
If we have an
yeah.
issue, we'll figure it out. Who knows why it happened or what caused it or anything else, but we'll get through it together. We'll figure it out. We're going to laugh about it and we're going to learn. And tomorrow's another day. Like, and I think it's how you show up. I mean, how you show up every single day. You got to be very intentional about that. You can't bring,
You're
the
probably
bullshit into the job and have that trickle down, because as owners, we impact the culture of the distillery and we've got to make sure we're
Yes.
doing things the right way.
probably not going to see sunrise yoga at Potter Jane, though, if that was the question.
Well, I'm not fucking flexible. I mean,
I really got you, Denny,
but I can't touch my toes. I
You-
proved that last week.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds like a good Instagram reel or TikTok.
Yeah, no, I did it with a salesperson here.
If you want to make everyone uncomfortable,
Well, okay, I will
No.
say that
I think we're supportive of wellness. I also think I've never been someone that's like, I want my work to provide an environment or tell me, like, I feel like it's more about supporting people's personal lives and letting them have just that. So, like, I think, yeah, we're not Halloweeny is probably like not the best example of how we're promoting wellness at Potter Jane. Here, eat 80 hot
well, I think that what you guys are saying and family and life and making sure that your people have opportunities outside of work is really important. And then one of the number one keys to leadership and having a team that you trust and that they trust you and that they want to be, they're self-motivated, is assuming positive intent. And Denny, it sounds like that's one of your qualification or qualities about
Always
of
has
being
been as a leader. Yeah.
You are
And
better at that than anyone I know.
a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people assume ill intent in decision making, and that is what cracks teams. Like, just frankly. So
No, it does. Well, I mean, inherently people want to
I
do.
was gonna say, no one's like, gosh, I'm going to go into a shitty
You're
job
just
today.
not. I mean, don't listen. I mean, there's going to be that one-off, but you
Sure.
cannot have
Cater.
that one-off dictate the entire culture of your operation, right? Like,
yeah.
again, it is. You're going to get burned every now and then, and that's fine. Like, all right, whatever. I'd still rather have what we have and how we relate and communicate. So,
Denny and Jane, thank you so much for coming on Caviar and Chips. Where can everyone find you two on the internet?
Oh, like
Or in person.
265.
yeah,
Um,
502.
everything's at Potter Jane Distilling through socials. Denny's cell phone number is 502. He loves late night texts.
Yeah.
Denny, you
call
up?
him
I have a social
Hotmail.
idea.
1-900 hot mash.
Hot mash. You can find us.
$2.99 a minute.
You can find us through our website, potterjane.com. The info emails come straight to us. All the socials, and or just give us a shout. We love hosting people. We're not doing drive up tours, but if you reach out and want to come, we'll usually try to find a way to make it happen if you're in the area. So
People should definitely visit. It is a cool spot. All right. Thanks, you two, for coming on Caviar and Chips. We love to have you. Would love to have you back anytime. We will talk to y'all soon. Love you. Bye.
thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah.